Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly show of Classroom Without Walls, episode 134. And today is a special episode because I am actually interviewing myself. And in this training, I want to share with you my journey from a depressed professor, not happy at all, to where I am today with a relatively short period of time to build a profitable brand and a profitable business. My secret is my 3C model. So this training is perfect for you if you are kind of tapping into social media, if you are not generating, especially the income. This video is not to train you how to grow and gain millions of followers. I don't know how to do that, and I'm not there yet. But I do know how you can build a profitable brand to generate more impact and more income and to connect with the right people who are going to trust you and who are going to purchase from you and who are going to give you money. So that is what this training is about. And next week, same time, same location, we are going to go back to my regular interview format. And a quick announcement. So next week, let me share my screen. And meanwhile, if you are live with us right now, let me know in the comment section where you are joining me live from, social media wise and geographically speaking. So next week, I have my dear friend AJ and to be on the show, and we are going to talk about organic versus paid content on LinkedIn. So AJ is, I think, my go-to person when it comes to LinkedIn ads. And I saw AJ speak in person quite a few times a few weeks ago. And AJ and I, we actually spoke at the same event. And we're also going to talk about organic content posting and organic marketing, inbound marketing on LinkedIn. So definitely bookmark your calendar. And also, I have another quick announcement I'm super excited about. So I gained access to LinkedIn Live last year. I don't even remember, April or May or June, one of those months. And so recently, I just got access to the scheduling feature on LinkedIn. So I want to share this with you, with everyone, especially if you are a fan of my content, if you love what I'm doing, and if you have learned anything from my live streaming shows, and I highly recommend that you turn on the reminder or remind me on feature on LinkedIn. So what you do is go to my LinkedIn post and you will see this. Once you see, turn the reminder on, and every time I go live, I assume you will receive a reminder. And so this is in the beta test. And if you have any feedback regarding this feature, please do let me know. I will make sure to share with LinkedIn. So anyway, and we are live. Hello, Alice. And we are live on Facebook, on my personal Facebook, on my business Facebook page, on LinkedIn, on Twitter / Periscope, on YouTube, and also on Twitch. And I'm missing my dear friend Peter here today, but I'm ready to engage with you guys. And we are going to... Hey, Joanna, thank you for joining me live. And I'm going to talk about my 3C model. And I promise you that I'm going to drop so much value. So this is also what I teach at my own school, Classroom Without Walls, and what I teach my own students. And the feedback is pretty amazing. And also, I just recorded my talk for Inbound, and it's based on similar content. So let's get started. And if you know a friend who might be interested or who can benefit from this content, and please feel free to share with your friends, tag them. So sweet. Thank you so much. Okay, so I actually have a slide. So let me share my screen. I want to give you some context regarding where I come from and why I can give this talk and why kind of you need to listen to me. So let me share my screen one more time. Hold on here. So here, let me make this present. Where is present? Oh, here. Sorry, a little bit slow. Okay. Oh. So this picture is really how my story has begun. And for those of you who don't know me, my former job is a college professor. I taught in the classroom for 10 plus years, and I spent almost 2 decades in higher education. And to be honest with you, just like all the data, stats that you read, many people, at least in the United States, I think the number is 74% of people who feel very disengaged, not happy at their job. I'm definitely part of the stats. And I was miserable. And this picture, my husband captured it. I think I just had an emotional meltdown. I was crying. Why am I doing what I do? I'm not happy, blah, blah, blah. So this is where I came from, my old self being very broke, maybe not so much financially, but definitely mentally and spiritually. And I wasn't happy at all. And so fast forward to today, I run my own school. And this is just a testimonial one of my students gave me. And he said that I learned more in 10 days at my Life Accelerator program under Classroom Without Walls than 2 years at his business school class. So this is a transformation. And I have been speaking on stage, traveling to different countries. I became an Adobe education leader, and I became also a HubSpot Academy instructor. And my story got featured in Forbes and Today's Show, Inside Higher Education, Pearson Education, and I got voted as a thought leader in education or alternative education. Here are the different places that my story got featured. Okay, so I shared all of those stories with you, like, the social proof. It's not to really brag, to really give you context of where I came from and my personal transformation. And my live streaming podcast, I happen to interview Seth Godin, Mark Schaefer, Guy Kawasaki, and all those amazing thought leaders who came to my show. And Mark Schaefer even came to my show not only once, but actually twice. I learned so much from them. So what's my secret? Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow. So my secret is really building an irresistible brand and effective inbound marketing. And I'm actually making more money this year as a full-time entrepreneur than how much I used to make as a college professor. So it has been quite a journey. And in this training, I really want to pull behind the curtain and share with you my 3C model that has really helped me build my personal brand. And I hope my story can become your story, and something that I'm going to share with you today can resonate with you, so you can apply some of the things that I mentioned today to build an equally influential brand, if not more. So this is my model, okay? And my flywheel, my 3C model to build an influential and profitable brand, okay? So including the 3C, connect, contribute, and create. So I'm going to explain each of them. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can actually see my face. And if you have questions, feel free to ask me any questions, okay? So the 3C model, and let's talk about the first C, which is connect. First C. I hope you can see this, which is to connect. And when I'm talking about connect here, is really to connect on multiple levels, okay? So first, you need to connect with yourself and ask yourself, what are my core values? Because with the social media and we consume so much content, it is so easy to copy another person's content. Wow, This person is doing this, I must do the same. This person is having this personality and I want to have that personality so people will like me and trust me and purchase from me. That is not the case. And you want to connect to who you are as an authentic person, because the only person that is not taken, as the saying goes, is you. So you want to be you. Okay. And also ask yourself, why am I even on social media? Answer that question is very important. And I'm just thinking about my early days of actually being on social media. I had no idea why I was on social media. And therefore, I was spending so much time online and I wasn't building a business. I wasn't building a following. I was simply wasting my time. I was talking about cats. I was talking about dogs. I was talking about babies. I was talking about baking. I was literally all over the place. So it's the first level of connection. And you want to connect to yourself. And the second level of connection is that you actually want to connect your business. And this is, my friends, the biggest mistake that I have made on my social media journey. And you want to make sure that the reason that you are actually on social media is to move your business forward. Okay. What is the ultimate goal for you to be on social media? Different people have different businesses ideas. For me, is to make a difference in education, at the same time support myself financially. For other people, maybe to generate visibility, to launch a campaign, whatever they do. So you want to make sure that whatever you are going to do on social media is actually connecting to your business. You have to be very intentional and very strategic. Otherwise, social media can be this rabbit hole and you are going to waste so much time. At the same time, you would be asking yourself, what did I do today? And I used to ask myself that question all the time. In fact, my husband used to ask me that question. And I couldn't really answer that question. I wasn't growing a business. I wasn't very clear about why I wanted to be on social media. So you want to connect to your business, okay? And understanding your ultimate business goal will actually dictate how you want to show up online and what you want to post and the people you want to connect. You want to really see and understand the end goal, okay? And the the third connection level is to connect to your audience. Okay. So for me, I really struggled with this a lot. So initially I was connecting with other social media marketers, even though my business is actually in education. So I realized that I was connecting with the wrong people, Not that I don't enjoy building those connections, and I enjoy those connections tremendously. But at the same time, again, for me, to be on social media is actually to run a business. I need to get paid. I need to make money. I need to pay my children's tuition, all those things. So that purpose is very, very clear. Okay. So besides connecting with friends, you want to make sure that you are actually connecting with your ideal target audience. So it took me some time to realize and discover who is my ideal target audience. So I finally discovered my ideal target audience is actually parents who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, who are in the entrepreneurship, business, and marketing social media space. So that's my ideal audience. And understanding that makes it so much easier for me to create my content to build that common ground. It's like when you are going to like a party and you want to have a small talk, and the small talk you want to talk about, hey, where you are based in, and talking about weather, talking about sports, talking about geographic location, talking about traveling, talking about the things that you actually share in common. So you want to make sure that you are actually connecting with your audience by talking about things that you actually share in common. So in my case is parents. So recently I did a post on LinkedIn, and that post did really, really well on LinkedIn. And I started my very first sentence on LinkedIn by saying and calling out well-intentioned parents. And I even had some of my connections in the comment section. They were telling me, oh, that very first sentence caught my attention because I'm a parent and I care about education. I care about my children's future. So you want to really understand your audience and build that connection. Okay. Last but not least, the fourth level of connection is let me remove my banner for a second. So the last one is to connect to the thought leaders in your industry. Okay. Again, I hope you get my message so far, and you don't want to build those random connections. Social media can take so much of your time. I'm actually making more money online. I'm actually spending less time on social media. Why? Because I'm a lot more intentional regarding how I want to show up and what I want to post. Become very strategic for me. Okay. So you want to connect with other thought leaders in the specific space as opposed to random people. So I mainly connect with people who are in social media marketing, who are in business, who are in education or alternative education. So those are the demographics that I'm connecting with, and people who are outside of those areas, I love them, I support them, but I do not intentionally spend 10 minutes or 30 minutes on a daily basis to connect with those people. I hope this part is clear. And then now you may be asking me, hey, this is great, but how can I find those people and how can I connect with them? So I'm glad that you asked this question because I'm going to show you my secret. And if you are loving this, give me some hearts and let me know you are enjoying this in the comment section. So how do you connect with those parents? In my case, parents, and or like maybe you are in the music industry, or maybe you are in the social media marketing industry, or maybe you are in the weight loss industry, whatever. So how do you discover those people? And this is my secret. So let me share my screen. So I pretty much use social media as a search engine. Okay. So let me repeat this again. I use social media as a search engine. Okay. So you see here on LinkedIn, right? I'm just using myself as an example. And I'm checking out parents on a daily basis. Hey, who are the parents out there complaining about education, looking for help and support? So I do a hashtag search parents. And so here are the people talking about parents. I'm not going to comment on every single post, but there are going to be posts that a parent or a mom or a dad, a homeschooling parent talking about education, seeking help, seeking support. And the same way, I can also identify influencers, thought leaders in this space talking about things that, oh, look, here's a great post, right? Seth Godin, Jordan, Paris, I love him. I follow him. He has come to my show. So those are the people I want to jump into this conversation. I want to interview this. I want to discuss this. And so this is how powerful this is. Okay, very simple. Or if you want to talk about, let's just do, or I did parenting, and even on LinkedIn, you can do parenting, you can search by people. So if I do this, so maybe I can identify relevant, thought leaders that those people I can connect with, right? So this seems to be a great connection. And all those people, or you can search based on content. Who are the people talking about parenting? And this is another great way for you to connect with people. Check out some relevant content, right? Especially if you see a mom or a dad, a student talking about education problems or issues, to see how you can help them answer their question, at the same time get their attention. Okay, so you can also search Let me quick comment. And so you can also search, we did search by people, by you can also search by groups, right? So other relevant LinkedIn groups related to parenting, so you can join those parenting groups, right? So easy. And you can do the same thing. LinkedIn is my personal favorite platform. If you can do the same thing on Instagram, and you can do parenting. Okay, so who are the people talking about parenting? Who are the thought leaders in this space? And who are the parents talking about parenting? Who are complaining? Who are just like stuck? Who need help? All those are the people that I want to connect with. Instagram is really powerful. You can do the same thing on Twitter and even YouTube. And this is my personal YouTube channel. As you can see that there's like, I'm actually live on YouTube right now. And the same thing. And with parenting, again, this is the people that I need to attract. So once you are on YouTube, you see here filter. Many people don't even know this. You click on filter. You can search by video. You can search by channel, playlist, different options. Let's say that I want to connect to a parenting channel, some thought leaders, movers, and shakers in the space. So clearly this one, the Parenting Junkie and Successful Black Parenting Magazine, all of those people are having a decent following. So those are the people that I need to connect with. I can connect with them on YouTube. I can also track them down on LinkedIn. So this is literally how I connect with people. Okay. So the first is connecting to yourself. Second, connecting to your business, which is absolutely critical and very, very important. And third and fourth is to connect with your audience and also connecting with the movers and shakers in your industry. How to do that? Hashtag search. I just showed you how to do hashtag search. And there are also other ways that you can do. I have I also set up Google Alerts. I also use Google Trends. I also search on Amazon and podcasts. There are different ways, but my personal favorite one is actually to use social media to conduct a hashtag search. So that's the first C, and I hope that is helpful. And now let's talk about the second C. So the 3C flywheel, right? So the first C we just discussed is to connect, right? We discussed 4 different levels that you can actually build a connection. So now after you build all those connections, amazing, I'm discovering this thought leader, that thought leader, and this parent, this mom, this dad, all of those people are talking about education, they're talking about homeschooling, they're struggling. So what to do next? Next is contribute. Okay. This one's here. So you want to contribute to other people's content. I'm sure you heard of this, right? Social media is now about always take. I want to take something from you. Hey, can I pick your brain on something? Hey, can I ask you a quick question? Always take. It's also about to give, to contribute to other people's content. Okay. So if you are following me on what I mentioned earlier, when you are building connections, you want to connect with your ideal audience. You also want to connect with the movers and shakers in your industry. So when you are contributing content, you want to do the same thing. Okay. So we're talking about others, and I want to divide them into 2 different groups. One is my audience. And the second one is the mover, the thought leader, the movers and shakers in my industry. I hope you can see this. Let me remove this. Okay. So I don't know. So you make connections with those people, two groups of people, my ideal audience, and also the thought leaders in my specific industry. And how do you contribute to their content? Okay. And remember, I shared earlier, like, doing hashtag search. This is so powerful. And I can't tell you how many people I have connected with, especially on LinkedIn. I do have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator. But even if you don't have that, you can just do a simple hashtag search that will help you identify lots of relevant people. And so earlier I used the example of hashtag search parenting or parents, right? So let's say that after I did that hashtag search and I discovered there's this one mom, she's a working professional and she doesn't have an educational background. Now she has to homeschool her children and she's really struggling. She's looking for advice to be more productive, to have some projects to make homeschooling more effective. And now if I see a post, guess what am I going to do? I'm going to respond and I'm going to comment. Especially this is really powerful on LinkedIn. I think on all the social media channels in general. And when I comment, I don't just say, hey, like Allison, I hear you. I struggle with the same thing and then over. What I do is if I hear a comment like that, hey, Lance, so great to see you. So if I see a comment like that, this mom is really struggling with something, guess what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a 1 paragraph, a 2 paragraph, and maybe 3 paragraphs to answer her question, to contribute to her problem solving as much as possible. Okay, without hoping to get anything in return. I show up. I genuinely want to help. And I can't tell you how many times I got people's attention by doing that. Okay. So whatever hashtag that are relevant in your specific industry, you do what I mentioned earlier, hashtag search and identify those people, especially those who are talking about their pain points, who are talking about their problems, who are looking for a solution. Those are the people who have the potential to become a paying client. Okay, so if you are a really busy entrepreneur, you don't really have time, this part can be easily outsourced by hiring a VA. Hiring a virtual assistant can help you do that. And yeah, so for those of you who joined late, we are talking about my personal journey and my 3C model to build an influential brand and a profitable business. And this model is what I use to get all the influencers on my show, to grow my personal brand, to grow my business, and to generate more income and more impact within a relatively short period of time. This model, I'm sharing all of my secrets with you, and I hope you are enjoying this so far. Okay, so contributing to their pain points, to their problems. Okay, so how about for the thought leaders? And so I don't want to share my screen again, but I hope you remember. Maybe I should. So let me share my screen again. So we did the parenting, right? So if I join this LinkedIn group and I want to make sure that I'm saying things that are making sense, I'm saying things that are adding so much value to people's problems. Or if you want to do this parenting, you want to search by people. And here you are likely to discover quite a few thought leaders and influencers, and you want to contribute to their content. And how do you do that? So let's say that Jessica just wrote a book and she is a thought leader and she parenting at New York Times, and she is an amazing person, right? She has her own platform. She just wrote a book. So when I'm talking about contributing. So when I'm talking about contributing to their content, there are multiple ways. Using Jessica as an example, she just wrote a book. Guess what? I'm going to write a book review for her. right? I'm going to write a book review on Amazon. I'm also going to write a blog article about Jessica and how amazing her book is. And guess what? If you do that, Jessica is going to pay attention to you. Hey, thank you so much for doing that to me. What can I do for you? How can I help you? That is exactly how I got the attention of Mark Schaefer, Neil Patel, and so many other thought leaders. I didn't ask for anything. I read their book or I listened to their podcast interview. It is so good, and I have to tell them. So I don't just tell them by saying, hey, Mark Schaefer, that's a great book. I loved it. I wrote a book review for his book, like multiple pages. I left a really good Amazon book review. Again, not just like, hey, this is a great book, but I actually wrote like 1 or 2 or 3, maybe even 5 paragraphs talking about how good the book is, how this book is changing my life, it's making an impact in what I'm doing as an educational entrepreneur. So I contribute, okay? So commenting is a great way, and like Amazon book review or writing blog articles to review their books if they have a book, and podcast review if they have a podcast, LinkedIn recommendation. I give people LinkedIn recommendations all the time, especially those people I genuinely love their work. I love their content. I'm a big fan. So I give their LinkedIn recommendations all the time. And there are just so many ways, and commenting is my personal favorite. And this works really, really well on LinkedIn. And if you want to get a thought leader's attention, and just comment, right? And meaningful paragraphs. And again, you can easily hire a VA to help you identify those thought leaders that you need to contribute to. So that saves you lots of time. You only need to show up and to leave meaningful comments. Okay, so that's my second C, which is contribute. And I hope you are enjoying this. And now I'm going to talk about my last C, which is to create. And this is another common mistake that I made when I just started my social media journey. And it's another common mistake that I noticed many content creators, entrepreneurs tend to make. And many people jump into social media by starting creating content. And I'm not saying that is bad, it's wrong. It's definitely better than not creating anything, for sure. And I can definitely say this. You cannot become a thought leader, an influencer in your industry without creating original content, okay? If you are only consuming other people's content, it's very good to build that network, to practice digital networking. But the only way for you to show up, to emerge as a thought leader is to create your own content, is to build your own model, is to create your own framework, is to create your own methodology, is to create your own pathway to solve a particular problem, right? And this is really important, but I don't recommend people jump into content creation right away. And you really have to kind of go through my first C, my second C, observing other people in your industry and listening to people, talking about their pain points. You want to go through the first, the second, and then start producing content. And when you are doing this, you can maximize the time that you are spending on social media, at the same time, also maximizing your ROI. Okay, so create, okay, very important. And you want to create original content. And there are different types of content that you can create. You can do blog articles. I use Mark Schaefer as an example. He is an amazing blogger. My dear friend Julia McCoy, also amazing blogger. So you can do blog articles. You can also do the audio podcast. And I know so many friends have an audio podcast. You can also do that. You can also do what I'm doing, live video content. You can also write books. And my friend Julia McCoy, she's a best-selling author. She and I were actually writing another book. And you can also do that. You can create infographic. My friend Brian Wallace is an amazing infographic designer. You can do that. You can also make videos, long videos, short videos. There are all sorts of content that you can create. So which one should you do? Again, going back to the very first C, connect to yourself. Which type of content do you actually enjoy creating? Which type of content, when you are creating that, you are actually in your zone of genius. You are actually in the flow. And just in case you couldn't tell, for me, it's absolutely video content. I tried blogging, I tried this and that. They don't work for me. I can do a blog article here and there, but it is very hard for me to show up consistently. But I love talking to the camera. I love hosting my live streaming show. That's why I can show up consistently for 3 years in a row. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, among all the types of content, which content resonated the most with me? Which content I can see myself producing on a regular basis, especially if you don't have a huge team that is going to help you with content creation, or you are in the early stage of building your business. You want to choose a specific content format that you love creating, you love doing, and you can see yourself showing up consistently over a period of time. Okay. And so for me, it's absolutely live video, okay? So create original content. So for me, is my hosting my live streaming show and doing live streaming content, okay? And so much research has actually backed this up. When you are seeing an image and at the same time you are also hearing an audio, when visual is compared with is combined with audio, they create longer and better memory retention. Okay, and you can think about yourself as an example. If you are just reading like a story versus listening to a story versus listening to the story and at the same time watching a film about the story, which one allows you to remember information the best? And research has shown it's definitely a combination of video and audio. And personally, this is also why I love this. I can do this type of training, which will be really hard on a traditional audio format or through a blog article. Okay, so for me, live streaming has really helped me grow my business 10 times my business. And so when I do live streaming, I do 2 types of live streaming content. So my live streaming content includes interview and solo. Okay, so when I do interview content, I interview, many of you have watched my live streaming interview, and next week we're going to go back to the interview format. My dear friend AJ is going to be on the show to talk about organic content creation on LinkedIn versus LinkedIn paid ads. And so I interview thought leaders. Again, go back to the first C that we discussed. You are intentionally discovering those thought leaders in your industry and making connections with those people. And so you can actually invite them to be on your show, right? So you do interviews, you interview the thought leaders in your industry. And when other people see, like, for example, when people see me interviewing for example, Seth Godin, like, wow, that is amazing. You interview Seth Godin, really adds lots of credibility to what you are doing. So I definitely recommend doing like interviews. However, when just doing interviews is not enough. So what I learned from my experience of doing interviews only is I don't know how many of you are actually hosting your own interviews. So when you are interviewing other people, you don't want to show up as a know-it-all, right? Hey, I know this. Yeah, great point. I can actually do better than you. Then why are you having me on the show, right? So for me, when I'm interviewing others, I tend to downplay myself a lot. What I know, what I can do, because my job is to spotlight my guest of honor. And so I noticed that after I was hosting my interviews for quite some time, people actually reach out to me. They had no idea what I can do. They had no idea I actually know something about building an online brand, building a profitable business. They had no idea because I actually never came out to teach what I know, right? So if you are doing interviews, that's great. A great way to practice digital networking, building visibility, but that is not enough if your goal is to create a profitable brand. Okay, so what you also need to do, I recommend, is to actually do a solo show. On top of the interview, do solo training, like what I'm doing right now. I come here and I have been talking for 45 minutes, teaching you something that I created. Again, if you want to become a thought leader, you have to create original content. The 3C model is created by me, is copyrighted by me. Okay, I'm the creator of this. And so I'm here to teach you something. So you want to create that original content, you can teach others, you can really solve problems, and you also want to come out as a solo host. You can do webinar, you can do what I'm doing right now to teach your audience about this. And this is such a missing link in many, many people's business. And hey, Jamie, and oftentimes I have no idea what many people are doing because they don't really talk about what they do. They don't really educate their audience. Let me repeat this. It is your job to educate your audience regarding what you do. And I made another mistake, as I was growing my business. I assumed everybody knew what I was doing. That is wrong, absolutely wrong. Very few people, unfortunately, especially if you are talking about random content, going back to the very first C that we already discussed, very few people actually know what you do. And so you really have to show up kind of doing what I do and educate people regarding what you do and how good you are so people can actually discover you. You are not just a live streaming show host, but you actually know something regarding whatever your business is. So I actually just discovered this since the beginning of this year, and I wish I discovered this earlier so I can start doing more like solo training. And I also recommend you create your own pathway. So for me, if someone comes to me, I recently just gained a client. She wanted to work on her personal brand. And she was like, I'm so new to this. I have no idea how to get started. Then I showed her, this is my 3C model: connect, contribute, and create. Very systematic, a very clear process, step, 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 step. If you follow my steps, you are going to get to where you want to be. I'm very clear. Even before I finished explaining my model, she was like, I need to work with you. This is so good. Right? Versus before, I didn't really have my original content. I didn't really have my model. And when people come to me, they ask me, hey, I want to build my personal brand. What can I do? I was like, oh, you need to post content online. You need to work on your LinkedIn. It's just like a checklist, not a systematic system, right? This is like how you assemble a piece of a machine, like how you assemble a computer. There are clear steps that you can take. When you give people this manual and people feel like confident in the result, right? And also easier for you eventually if you want to scale your business so you can actually remove yourself from the business. So in my case, when people come to me, they want to learn, and this is also what I teach at my own school. I teach my students, high school students, college age students, and emerging professionals. And if they want to learn how to build an online brand, I will teach them. Do the 3C. And even if one day I want to retire earlier or younger, and I can hire a person, I can train other people. Hey, it's not about me that lead to the transformation. It is actually about the model. The model is the miracle. The model does the work. And now this is my original model, my original content, and this is the secret formula, right? And the same thing at my own school, I have another system to future-proof the next generation. And in fact, I have been doing a 6-part live training on education. So in that 6-part live training, every part is about a problem that I observed in today's education system. And every problem, as I talk about every problem, there's a solution. The solution is always a part of my own iceberg model. So the iceberg model is what I created to future-proof the next generation. So I talk about problem, here is the solution. The solution is my iceberg model. And I hope this is making sense to you. And again, it's not about me that is making the transformation. It's really about the model, my 3C model, my iceberg model, and the models. When you know how to implement the model, when you have a qualified person to teach the model, and I promise you, I guarantee you that this is going to give you results. And when you say that, and when you do solo show to train people, hey, I just did a training actually yesterday talking about the biggest challenge facing today's students, right? As I talk about that problem, I offer a solution. The solution is my model. And so this works really, really well. And you absolutely need this piece to build a profitable brand and business. Okay. The first C is good, connect. The second C is amazing, contribute. But you need a third C if you are online actually running a profitable business. Okay. So if you are only online to have fun, to socialize, to support others, which is totally great, totally amazing, and you can do that. But if you are online to actually generating income and impact, and you have to get to the third C level, creating original content that is in alignment with your business and also original content. Okay. And my favorite way to teach this is solo live streaming show. And you don't have to do this. You can do blog article, you can do webinar, you can do infographic, you can show up, do long form posts on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you can do YouTube videos. There are endless options, right? Do what that you love, that you can actually show up consistently. So that is my 3C model. And I will share my screen one more time so you can see the model. So this is my model, okay? And I can already discuss each of them. This is the branding flywheel. Connect, contribute, and create. Again, if you want to build a profitable business, you have to get to this creation level, okay? So once you are creating more, guess what? Especially when you are creating relevant content, when you are creating relevant content that is in alignment with your business, and you are going to attract relevant people to connect with you, and relevant people are going to contribute to you, and you are going to create more. So this is going to be a healthy cycle, and you are going to have some momentum. And the only thing you need to do is to make sure that you are teaching, you are showing up consistently. And I promise you, my friend, watching this and a long hour, 1 hour training, that you are going to have more impact and you are going to have more income. And that's my 3 training. Some of you joined late, and thank you for joining me live. And let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. I hope this is helpful. I pretty much shared all of my secrets with you, and this really helped me generate my 6-figure income and making more than how much I used to pay to be paid as a college professor. So a quick reminder for next week. And my dear friend AJ is going to be on the show. We are going back to the interview format. And AJ, and I'm going to interview him, and he and I, we are going to discuss organic versus LinkedIn paid ads on LinkedIn and organic inbound marketing on LinkedIn. AJ is amazing. Those of you who don't know who he is, I highly recommend you check out our interview next Wednesday, same time, same location. Any other questions? Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me live. And I appreciate you guys. And I hope to see you next Wednesday, same time, same location. And for those of you who are really passionate about education, I actually host another show, which is about education. And that one is on every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And I'm interviewing a dear friend. She has an incredible story. She was being bullied. She was being raped when she was really young, but she came back and her business is being endorsed by Facebook and Apple. Amazing story. So that's my interview on Friday. And that one is always regular every Friday. And this one is always regular every Wednesday. You want to make sure you are showing up consistently. And and if you are interested in my 3 months life accelerator program, we are starting the program on September 14th. And I think I have it somewhere here. And feel free to message me if you are interested in joining the next cohort, September 14th. Okay, so that's all for today. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I hope this is helpful and for you to give a boost to your business. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.